It is the segment you've all been waiting for, Trader Psych. We have Dr. Jerome, Dr. Vanessa here with us. Dr. Jerome is a I gotta get the right thing up here. Uh, eh, uh, doctor specializing in neurology and neurophenomenology. That's right, phenomenology.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank
All
you.
right, all right. And Dr. Vanessa is a clinical psychologist, hypnotherapist, mindfulness instructor. You've met them all before. You've met them before. They were here last Friday. They're here back with us today, and they have some really wonderful things to discuss with everybody. I'm just going to let them go. I'm going to maybe have some questions along the way. Be watching the chat too, in case there's any good questions that come in there. Maybe we can ask the good doctors. But Dr. J, take it away.
Wonderful. Good morning, good afternoon, Hogue, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Hi, Dr. V. So I don't know how many of you have never heard me speak before, but let's say your luck has run out. So those of you who are familiar with what we teach are also familiar with the directness with which I speak. So you see, I have enormous faith in the potential that lies inside human beings. So what we're going to try to convince you today is that you personally, you are the creator of your own destiny, and you have
Order
no goal not to
filled.
win, but to survive, and that should never be good enough. So let's start with the truth most people underestimate. Your life, the one you wake up to, complain about, or dream of, is the compound result of small, tiny decisions made every single day, like the micro decisions you make in the space between a trigger and your action, right? It's called reaction most of the time. And that's where your entire, what we call mental architecture, is built. And let's talk about it. So, to keep things basic and simple, in the brain, we have the PFC, that's the frontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex with the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. That's the executive system, the planner, the observer. That's the part of you that knows what you should do, the one that sets goals, defines values, and understands consequences. But here's the thing, the PFC is not the one who acts it. It would be easy, right? It's the one who designs, let's say, the blueprint. The one who acts most of the time in real time is what we call the limbic system, the emotional interpret, the protector sometimes, or the now focused engine. And so every decision you make happens at like the convergence, the intersection of design and desire, of clarity and comfort. In trading, for example, this is the trader who builds a solid strategy during the weekend. On Sunday, he's like, yeah, I'm going to rock it. I'm going to smash this week, only to throw it out the window on a Tuesday when volatility hits, right? So you think you're lacking information, for example, but most of the time, you're lacking an internal system strong enough to hold the plan when emotion shows up. You got a plan. When emotion shows up, because we're human, you're not strong enough, and that falls apart. So we look around, and when we look around anywhere in the world, we see people suffering, right? People in need. And we, who have the greatest advantage in the world, living in great countries, we are sleeping. We get opportunities and we don't pursue them. We play at it. Everything you play at is a game. Anything you win at takes serious effort. And I don't care how excited you are, and there's a ton of excitement and good reason for it. I acknowledge that. But that doesn't matter if you don't change, because where
Order
you are right
filled.
now is the cumulative result of the thinking you've had, the thoughts you've had, the emotions you've used, the habits you've developed, and that everything have created the circumstances you sit in. And I got taught years ago, before money comes preparation, before money comes effort, before money that will make you happy, you have to build the foundation of integrity and caring. Money will make a good man better, but it will also make a bad man worse. And I got told that should be the end of what you need to learn about money. It's not necessarily a consequence of hard work, right? Money is a consequence of how well you got prepared to deserve the stuff, right? But that's new, huh? Like ask yourself, wherever you go to work today, tomorrow, next week, who took that job? You or your cousin or your grandmother? Who walked in there one day and said, "Oh, I'll settle for this"? And what was the psychology behind that settling? Was it fear? Was it survival? It certainly was not prosperity. You've got to know how you're thinking, because your thinking and my thinking is the absolute unequivocal creator of our reality. Therefore, I say to you, there is no reality except that which is the end products of your personal thoughts. And you're going to understand why I'm starting this way. Every great thinker who's thought on these things expressed it in so many different ways, but the premises say this: as you think, so shall you become. So your thoughts are the cause of your behaviors. Your behaviors over time are the cause of routines of your habits. And your habits over time create the circumstance you're in, called your life. Every decision we make to show up, to quit, to take a trade, to walk away, every decision is governed by systems inside our brain. And two key players run that show: the PFC and the limbic system. The PFC is the part that dreams, strategizes, and says, I'm going to become something more. But right underneath it, there's another force, your limbic system, the emotional brain. It's reactive, survival based. It doesn't care about your goals, your dreams, your vision. It just wants to feel safe and avoid pain. So when you say, I want to change, oh, it's 2026, I want to change, it's the PFC speaking, the prefrontal cortex. But when fear hits, when discomfort creeps in, when you hesitate or self sabotage or lower your self image, that's your limbic system pulling the emergency brake. And guess what? When the moment is hot, when you're in front of the market or staring down a difficult life decision, Whichever part of your brain is stronger wins. That's why people know what to do, but don't do what they know. Because the emotional system hijacks the rational system. And if you want to change your life, your trading, your relationships, your body, your wealth, then it starts by
Order
understanding the truth.
filled.
You can't run from truth. Truth belongs to us at like the soul level, the brain level. We're wired for it. The problem is we don't hear it very directly often. And when we do it, it's a moment of truth for you. It's a moment for you to decide because you may not have that moment again. And we think we'll get it tomorrow or next week, but get it now. Get it now or forget it now, right? How is that? So there's a battle between the rational and the emotional brain. But the emotional, the limbic system, it's not the enemy. It's just designed for reaction. So when you understand that, when a trader, for example, sees price reverse just before the TP, it's the amygdala that whispers, grab it now. You'll lose everything, but grab it now. And when you listen, not once, but over and over, you're not just losing your character or your edge, if you want to call it, you're rewiring your brain to favor relief over results. Okay? Self sabotage is predictable. It's the brain favoring short term emotional safety over long term identity alignment. Short term emotional safety over long term identity alignment. And there are three words that are the, let's say, the genesis of success, whatever you do in life. And very simple. It's become, do, then have. Become means prepared. It means build yourself. It means increase your knowledge, increase your energy, increase your application of effort. Becoming is learning. Then you must do what you've learned. So
Dr. J,
we have, yes, sorry.
I just want to, while we're on this subject, you mentioned self sabotage, and when it comes to self sabotage, uh, I've heard other people say that self sabotage isn't actually a thing because, especially in the markets, you'd have to know how to take a wrong trade every time to self sabotage. I know you're talking about self sabotage by letting your limbic system take over your decision making process. Do you see that happen? I mean, of course, we probably try to do that in trading, um, but is anybody that good to where they're going to be able to know that they're taking a bad trade?
Excellent question. So there's the dimension of self sabotage I mentioned, and there's the one you mentioned as well, which is more connected to self image. Am I right in the understanding or
Well,
not?
I mean, you have a bad trade. You put on max position and just say the heck with it. If this goes my way, fine. If not, that's just a bad decision to make, right?
Oh yeah. So then, well, when you're experienced enough and when you know your system significantly enough and to know which market conditions you should operate in, then if you don't respect all of these, then yes, you will self sabotage yourself because you will tell yourself, "Oh, I knew it," but deep down you didn't really knew it. Like it's
Right.
again the emotional and the rational one. It's the cognitive overload versus emotional overload. So it's all about discipline, and Dr. V is gonna speak beautiful about it. It's about
Okay.
repeating things with consistency because it's easy to do things once and twice, right? But why is it that you build a strategy during the weekend and you screw it up on Tuesday, right? Perhaps on Monday, perhaps on Wednesday, right?
Right.
So it's
I
all
didn't mean
connected
to.
indeed
I didn't
on
mean
the
to
becoming.
disturb your groove. Go for it, Doctor J. I
Oh
apologize.
no, no, Norris, sir. Oh, he's interrupted.
Can I add
But yeah,
some?
self.
Doctor
Right.
No,
V.
no, I just wanted to add something on that, but I will let you finish, Jerome.
Go ahead, please.
I think self sabotage is knowing what you should do and then still like putting your emotions first, right? It's like in my journey, I always want to talk about my personal experience as well as my clinical experience. So for my personal experience and what I see with my mentees is it's like they know the recipe, right? But they still take these early entries because early entries are emotional entries. It's like a bad habit that we just cannot take away from the recipe. Like I need to get in first, right? So that's how I see self sabotage. It's when we are still trading on emotions. And like you said so beautifully just now, having the tension building of I need to get into that trade. I'm scared that I'm going to miss the entry or I need to make money now. So the tension is building and you need the gratification of having this tension go away. So it's not really saying, oh, unconsciously or not, I'm taking a bad trade. It's not that, but it's just knowing what you should do and still you act out of unconsciousness and from the emotional brain.
Thank you, Doctor
Thank you,
Vanessa.
Doctor. Thank you. So we're on the verge of becoming is learning, and we have tremendous content here on Top Step TV on YouTube, and you have books, but Top Step TV has tremendous content. So we have the learning, right? And you have it all over here. But how many of you are going to do what you've learned? In my life, I'm very young, but I often say I've studied psychology of success. It's no golden science, but people often ask me, what's the biggest secret of success? And I said, it's so simple, you might miss it. They say, what do you mean?
Mhm.
I say, you're in front of it every morning when you wake up. It's being honest in front of that mirror and saying to yourself, the true self, saying to yourself, who am I? And then measure what you do from that moment forward in the day and see how it reflects back at you when you look honestly. See, success is not a big secret at all. It's not a big secret. It's be, do, and have. And in the universe, there's a law that is undisputable, and it's the law of cause and effect. For every positive, there is a negative. For every obstacle, there is an opportunity. It's all connected. We just think we're separate from the wisdom of the universe or the laws of the universe. And I got news for you. They don't care if you ever learn them, and those laws don't care when you learn them if you ever apply them. They just are and they run the game. So, cause and effect, means and end, root, seed, thought, creation, trade, P&L, habit, circumstance. Everything that you see as complete is only the manifestation of that which was spiritual in the form of spirit and thought in the beginning, or it could not be. The Eiffel Tower, it was a thought. Now apply that to your life. Is it important what you think? Is it important that you edit your thoughts, your emotions? Is it important that you correct your thinking? Because it's your thinking that is creating your life. You know, these two men sat behind bars, one saw mud, the other saw stars. The circumstance was identical, but the individual perception was quite different. Therefore, the outcome and the experience was equally different. Oh, but people who quote on this law, they know how you can change your life. Because if you can change how your mind, you can change your circumstance. And remember, Dr. William James, one of the father of American psychology, at the end of his life, he was asked, "What is the biggest contribution to humanity in your lifetime?" To which he responded, and listen closely, please. A human being can alter the circumstances of their life by altering their attitudes of mind. Their attitudes of mind. So how many times do we need to hear it before we get it? Who do you hang with? Who do you hang with? That's a good one, right? Because we don't make the connection between the universal and ourselves. Because the universe is like a spiritual reality and we don't get it. And you have to know that we are equipped as human species to tap in and to understand and to employ that power. But we get bogged down in negative, self-depreciating conversations. We are hardly ever satisfied with who we are, aren't we? We always want what's over there. And we'll get what's over there when we'll get right.
Order
what's over
filled.
there. I'm told you, I'm very direct. People who know us know that, right? So how many of you realize that you need to change in order to get where you want to be? What do you think about that?
Why is change so difficult?
That's the part of Dr. Vanessa.
It seems most
She's gonna
people
go
are
and
afraid
disagree.
of change, whether it's
We are
good,
afraid of
good
change,
change or
exactly.
bad change.